It's kind of obvious to say that we all live in the same world, but we don't really live in the same world. See, people have different lives, people go through different things, but the world isn't the same for everyone. We all know that two people can experience the exact same situation and they'll come out differently, they'll view it differently. Therefore, the world isn't the same for everyone. There is no objective way of viewing the world. There's no black and white. Like, even in the most extreme circumstances, you can have twins that were born 30 seconds apart. Okay, I don't know what's the shortest time that twins can be born apart. Maybe it's two. You know, all the twins I know, it's like 2 minutes. I've never met a twin or twins that were born like 30 seconds apart. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't even know if babies can go through that. But anyways, besides the point, you have twins that were born at not the exact same time, but I don't know, a minute apart. They'll go through the same circumstances, they'll be in the same environment, they'll even be wearing the same clothes when they're growing up. You know those twins that you see, they're like 6 years old, they're wearing matching outfits everywhere they go. They'll go through that wearing the same things, but they'll come out differently. They'll have different ways of thinking. They'll have different results in their life. And then when it comes to like making money and economies, people will be in a terrible economy and they'll say that the economy is bad, that's why I'm not doing well. But in every economy there are winners. So it's not the economy that is the determining factor of your success. It's just you, the type of people. The people who go through the same situations, people who go to the same schools, who have the same opportunities. Because you know what? In a world of 8 billion people, I can imagine that there's someone who's living a life that's like just 0.01% different to mine. Because there's 8 billion people, it's statistically plausible that there's someone who's living a life that's so close to mine that it just differs at like, I don't know, a different area. I'd like to believe so. But then we'll probably have different outcomes. And the topic of this video has come through reading this book. It's actually right here. It's called The Power of Now by Eckhart. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And he talks about the importance of consciousness. And I think that's the key to life. The more conscious you are, the better your life will be. Because we've established that we live in the same world, but we don't really live in the same world. So the difference between people who succeed in this same world and people who don't may just be the level of consciousness. Because let's say two people are looking at a tree, right? One person would just say it's a tree. But then you all have that one friend who will look at a tree and you'll be like, that's the beauty of life. Trees represent there always being resources for you to be good enough. I'm actually looking at a tree right now, representing you to always be good enough. The earth will always provide oxygen for you. The deeper the roots, the higher you can go up. Like, people will extract that just from looking at a tree. And like, looking at a tree will teach them so many lessons of life that you have to dig down. You have to have firm roots, a firm foundation to go high. And what I've learned from this book is that the difference between the person who can extract knowledge and wisdom from a tree and the person who just sees a tree as a tree, the difference between these two people is consciousness. Consciousness dictates what you can see, what you feel, what you sense, what you can understand from certain things. The more conscious you are, the more you see. The more you see, the more information you have. The more information you have, the better informed your decisions will be. And that will just lead to better decisions. Better decisions will lead to a better life. I think that the way you gain consciousness is just by educating yourself. Because you can't be conscious of what you don't know you should be conscious of. So when I was 6 years old, I wasn't conscious about the economy. I wasn't conscious about inflation rates and stuff like that because I didn't know about it. So I had nothing more to be conscious about. I was conscious of everything I had to be conscious about. I was conscious of everything I knew. And you are conscious of everything you know now. You may be looking at your life. You may be thinking, I want my life to improve. I want better results for my life. That's certainly the way I think. I want to have a better life. I want to produce a better life for myself in the long run. And the level of consciousness that brought me to this life is not enough to take me where I want to go. What I mean by that is that the information that I had that brought me to this point in my life will not be enough to take me where I need to go. The fact that I'm not where I need to be means that I don't know something. And since I don't know that, I'm not as conscious of what I should be conscious of. Because there are certain concepts that people who are earning more are conscious of. And those concepts allow them to do things in a certain way. So let's say there's a bad situation, right? Person 1 reacts and says, this is a terrible situation. And they leave it at that. Person 2 says, this is a terrible situation. but there's an opportunity here. The only difference between person 1 and person 2 is that person 2 is conscious of the fact that with every negative situation comes a seed of a positive opportunity. If person 1 is aware of that, if he was conscious of it, don't you think you'd make a better decision? Don't you think you'd react in a better way? What I've found with the successful people that I've interacted with and the rest, right? So that in general, successful people are more conscious. It's like they know more things, they have more information. Now I've found that most people are unconscious. Most people, may even be us, most people don't know why they do what they do. Most people don't think about what they do. Most people don't give conscious thoughts to the actions that they take every single day. They essentially float through life. Then there's the successful bunch where you talk to them and it's like, wow, you're actually conscious of a lot of things. And now you may just be asking, how do I become more conscious? I think the root of consciousness is just education. You can't be conscious of what you don't know. So educate yourself, read more books, watch more educational podcasts, things that you actually learn from. Like, don't listen to a podcast of some random person that you think will be interesting and he's talking about, I don't know, like stupid stuff. Listen to podcasts that you genuinely believe are going to help you. And the second way to become more consciousness is mindfulness. The more present you become, the more you'll be able to notice what is going around. So if you're more present, you can look at a tree and be like, yes, this tree is teaching me a life lesson. But if you're mindless all the time, you just look at a tree and you just be like, it's a tree. There's nothing more to the tree. And maybe I'm trying to overcomplicate life. But hey, I think the difference between you and the version of you that's succeeding everything you want to succeed in is simply just your level of consciousness. I believe that the world is just a physical manifestation of the spiritual realm. And consciousness is spiritual.